I mean, they stayed here their entire lives, all of them. All the old ones did. Uncle John, Aunt Esther lived down here and died. They had a sister lived across the road called Allie. Miss Allie, I can't think of her last name, but she was a sister. So you had George, John, Allie, and Shelley, and then Nellie lived out toward Perger. She married Hafford Robinson years ago, and her and Pop took her in one time. She got sick and all, and he kept her, got her all well and fixed up, and she went back to the guy. And so anyway, they didn't speak for 50 years, and my grandmother died, was in Paris, and they spoke.
Mm. What did they farm?
Do it.
What did they farm?
They had my granddaddy George. He had tobacco and then corn, and Uncle John had corn. He had Bottom Farm down here. His wife died several years ago. I mean, before he did, and he did everything himself. He had equipment. I mean, he had an old T-model with a wooden wheel on the back. I can remember a spare tire and had wooden wheels on that thing. And I bet it didn't have 1,000 miles on it. Somebody came by and bought it, but it had been in the garage all those years. And I never saw it out. In my lifetime, I don't reckon running. I never saw it. I know it did because his daughter went with him to Murray in it, and he got to Murray going around the square, and he just made him a U-turn right there in the square. Told her, said, "I'm a pretty damn good driver, ain't I?" but he had insulin bad all the time I knew him, and he sharpened needles. He didn't buy new needles, he just sharpened them on wet rock and give himself a shot. That's Uncle John that lived right down the road here. But we farmed his place, and we lived sort of between them. And we farmed my grandfather George's place, and then our place, and then Uncle John's place. And then Aunt Marjorie bought a place next to ours up here, and we farmed it too, and had cattle on it for a while. But a lot of memories out here. I knew everybody back then, you know, all the neighbors, you knew them. We had, there was several on over by the gravel pits, the other side of where our farm is up here. Well, there was blacks lived over in there in that area, and there was cropper houses, they called them, where that used to be right up past the farm there, and these blacks lived in that, and they were probably descendants of slaves, because I mean that family, McFadden family, they had some money, and Mr. Bud King and lived across the road, and Mr. Lim King lived next to him. Well, they had these croppers that lived up there in those little houses for when I was a kid and all, and then there was others lived on around there with good friends of ours, Jan McGehee and Francis, and we'd go to her house. She had this big old iron thing laying on the fireplace that she'd straighten her hair with, and I can just see that thing and laying there, and it had teeth on it, and she'd get it hot to the fire.
Oh.
Straighten her hair out with it, but anyway, it's good people. Lots of course, I never knew any of these because they were done gone. But Mr. Bud and Dorsey and Nellie they let me work anytime. I had a job, you know, if I wanted to work. So worked for them for years and years. To little everything. Yeah. So anyway, we had a good life. Like everybody else, we didn't have a whole lot, but we wasn't anybody else around did either. So a few people had some old money, but not a lot of it. I was born right during World War II, and they just come through the 30s before that, late 20s. So people lived pretty rough. We lived in an old house that had a tin roof and had walls. It's called a box house. Just had, and there were holes in the walls going up. And we had a cat. Had 4 litters of kittens every year. I saw every one of them go upstairs through those walls. But it, you know, the day we got electricity was a big thing. Cause and we never had while we was out here, we never did have a bathroom here. Didn't have running. We just had a well. And Dad built a new house across the road from where the old one was. And we had still had the outhouse down the hill and no water in the house. The water well was 220 feet deep, and back then, and it's expensive now to dig one that deep, and it was real expensive then. So we didn't do it. Always had some cows, milk cows, sold out, raised hogs, chickens,
So
pop.
you always had your own calf your whole life?
I've had at least one ever since I was 6 years old as mine. Yeah.
I love that.
And still got 'em. Not the same cow. But, yeah. But, yeah.
So where did y'all all go to church together?
No, well, we went to Mount Zion, and Marge, well, Mom, when she went, I think she didn't go much, but she went to Methodist Church, and Marjorie did then too, but in Buchanan, I don't know, it's just them, Uncle John and them, I don't know where they went. I never did see him go anywhere really. But he was an innocent man. He had a shop, and what Tinker and I always did was what I learned from him. And he had this shop that had ropes out here at the front of it, and he would make his ropes out of baler twine, like you wrap hay string, and he'd plat a 4-plat rope, and he'd go up to that shop, he'd pull this string, and the wind would fly up over here, pull one here, one there. It was just amazing. And he had an old forge in there that blows where you and he could weld on that thing, and all this with charcoal, and that blow that air up through it. He was an innocent man, had a big old grind rock. That thing as tall as it. He'd bring $2,000 right now. But yeah, he gave him a little bucket of water on top of it to cool whatever he's sharpening on. But he knew how to do everything and just could. I mean, there by himself. But he was my buddy.
Didn't he have the,
Do
he had a toilet, didn't he?
Yeah, it was an old creek, and the creek runs into the
That's
Kentucky
great.
Lake. He had a toilet over that creek, and you could watch the fish. And that little old minute go by, you know. It was clear water. But I don't know if it was EPA approved or not, but it was. That was his. You know where he lived, don't you, Uncle John? lived down there. They were baling hay down just to the other side of that a while ago, or getting ready cutting hay. But he was a dandy now. I got lost on that farm. They sold it after he died, and guy Parrish was surveying the farm, and he wanted me to go back. I was chopping the path out, machetes for him to see through his transit down through there. And so anyway, we got to the line, and this country, it's turned around from what it looks like it is. But I wound up at the back of that farm. And there was about 300 acres, I think, 200-300 in there, big old farm. And the guy wanted me to go back and get the truck. We left it at the house. You go get the truck and carry it up there by the gravel pits. That farm came out up there. Well, I started back to the house. I thought I was going the way I had gone out there, except I didn't follow the trail I made. I was going to take a shortcut back to the house. And I got lost back in there. And it had been so long since anybody had been there that the corn ridges used to have, when you plant corn, you have ridges up there and throwed up against the corn. Well, those ridges were almost flat. It had been so long since anybody in there. And I mean, there hadn't been nothing in there. And I'd already decided I had some matches, and I said, I'm gonna set these wood fire before dark. Somebody gonna come down here. I don't know who it is, but anyway, about that time I heard a cowbell just off in the distance. I heard an old cowbell, dong, 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 and I headed out toward that cow. I said, wherever that cow is, I'm going. And I said, there'll be somebody there. Sure enough, I followed that cow, and then I got headed toward her, and I found the paths going across the bottom there. And it was, where Lynn Bennett lived. Okay, I came out of Lynn Bennett's house, and I was on the side I'd never been to before, and it wasn't far from our house. I'd hunted all around there from the other side, but I got up there, and I knew the man thought I'd stole his truck and gone with it. And I hadn't even got his truck at that time. It was still at the house. Well, anyway, Lynn Bennett cranked this old car up, old 49 Chevrolet he had, and he carried me down there and took all the money I had. I don't know how much I had, but it wasn't a whole lot, but I paid him that to get out of there. But now that's a bad feeling to be lost. It really is. And you just take a place like this right here, you can just head out and get turned around pretty quick. And you didn't have GPS, and I didn't know much about the stars, so I didn't want to be in there in the dark. But anyway, lots of memories. They had his daughter's husband. He carried me hunting every time he come down here and fishing and stuff. Well, I thought the world of that man and her. And after they died, well, they called me from a bank up there one day. Said we got her. No, it was from some kind of office. I don't know, lawyer's office, I think. Called me and wanted me to come up there. And they left me a little money. And she stayed in the hospital for about 2 years in a regular hospital. So they went, she went through a bunch of money. But he had been in the insurance business, and she had owned a beauty shop for all those years in Bowling Green. But they give me $4,000, and that was back, gosh, I don't know, that's how many years ago, 25, 30, or longer than that.
We've been married 50, and we probably hadn't been married a year or two.
Yeah. But anyway, I still got that $4,000. I put it in the stock market at that time, and still got that.
Who gave that to you again?
Do what?
Who gave it to you?
It was Uncle John's daughter and her husband,
And they never had
Elmer
children.
Bishop. They didn't have any kids. But he was just favorite folks.
You've been there.
Yeah, I remember going there. That's
Yeah.
he gave us a shot. Or gave you
Yeah,
a
I got
didn't
a
he?
shotgun rifle. It
Yeah.
was his
And
too.
wanted Daddy to take a
Yeah.
lures. He fished all the time, and Daddy
Yeah.
felt like he didn't, he wasn't going to just take it. He just begged him to take all those lures and stuff.
He was
Now
boxed
he wishes
that
a
long and
thousand
that
times
tall,
that he'd
all
have taken
fold
it
out.
because they wanted him to have it, but John said, "No, I'm not going to take that."
Somebody else wound up with it, but it was a very valuable box because he fished,
Oh,
bass fished back in the 50s. And, I mean,
Yeah, you
stripes
dropped the
and
ball on that one.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
He knew
Yeah.
that later, but
But I've got his rifle and his shotgun. So, great guy. But anyway, it's nearly dark.
yeah, we need to go.
And we couldn't find our way back
We're
out.
gonna get you over there one more time now that the sun's